G'day guys, let's see if this Temu Sluice can capture some gold. Now the sluice itself was listed for $56. I bought a few other items and the grand total ended up being $84. After some discounts, I had some $20 coupon thing, then there was a $15 discount for shipping by sea, then there was another $15 discount or so for some credit that I'd earned or something or other. And then I got a $5 discount because the order came about 2 weeks late. It ended up costing me $27 instead of the $84 that initially should have paid for the thing. So whatever the sluice works out, probably about $20, let's say, max, out of me pocket. The other items I'll say $7, even though they were $26 originally. I'll take most of the money because I only paid $27 or something or whatever for the whole deal. So I'll give you a look at this sluice and I'll run some material through and we'll see if we can capture some gold and see if it works. Alright, so what we've got here is a sluice that's got some carpet, some miner's moss, some expanded mesh and some riffles, and in the top of it here is a V-mat. So all I've done is just set some rocks to direct most of the flow of the creek. I got a few handfuls of gravels before and just threw them in just to make sure that it was working. Got this little bucket here of gravels that I've screened down to 8 mesh, and you just get your scoop and throw the material in. And the heavier material will sit there for a bit longer. The lighter stuff and the silt and everything like that in the creek will just move on through. Use your scoop, spread it out as even as you can across the whole mat. There's no point just dumping it in one place. It just means that all the material goes to one part of the sluice. You're not actually using the width of the sluice. Reduces how much you can run and all that sort of stuff. It's a 9-inch wide river sluice. It's all one piece. It does have a little handle here. Everything's held down with a couple of wing nuts. Now, it should capture something. Hopefully I've dug some ground with a little bit of gold. Not expecting 10 ton of gold, but I'm hoping there'll be something. Hopefully there'll be something in the indicator when I get to pull this thing out to show you, or some gold I can see somewhere, but there's no guarantees. Now, it probably needs, to be fair, a little bit more angle. I haven't used these sort of riffle sluices too much in the past. I seen this thing and I thought, you know, there are some sluices around. People want to try different things. People don't have a big budget to spend, especially if they don't know if they're going to be prospecting, if it's going to be something that they enjoy. A lot of people go out, buy a lot of equipment, don't end up using it, and it's on marketplace and all the rest of it pretty quickly. So, should be able to see the gravels moving down there, the agitating, as that stuff. While it's agitating, that's what you need. You need that agitation. Because as it's agitating, the heaviest material is dropping through all those other gravels that are bouncing around. Some are flowing through, the lighter stuff's going out the end and flowing through. The heaviest stuff is staying there. The reason you want that agitation is it's like when you're shaking your pan. You're stratifying. You might ask, why screen before going into the river sluice? Well, the reason to screen, a lot of the time we're digging clays, a lot of the time where the gold is a lot of the time stuck on those clay. Stuck to the clay, I should say. And the reason you screen is to liberate that gold. And what I mean by liberate, it's pretty much a fancy word to say, rather than saying separate. So we're trying to separate the gold from the clay, the gravel, so that when you feed it in, because it's heavy, it just drops out. Only got a little bit more material to go, and I can just slowly, evenly just tip this over the top. I can get that last bit that's in the bucket and just wash it in. I'm not afraid that by dumping a bit extra water in here, I'm all of a sudden going to blow out some gold. As I said, you can see down here just that agitation that's happening. So if there's gold, it's not just going to skim straight over the top. It's going to get caught. And those riffles are fairly large, that for the gold to scoot over those and then keep going and skim over. Especially, as I said, it's active. This is all active, just like in other types of mats. Those cells are active. The gold is going to drop in right down. The mesh is going to capture it. The riffles are going to capture it. And then also that miner's moss on the carpet is going to end up trapping it. But yeah, we'll see. I'll let this clean out for a few minutes, and we'll see if there's something that I can spot, and we'll see if it I'm just moving my finger over here like this, just to get that lighter stuff to swim through. If I do knock a piece of gold out, it's going to get caught in the next riffle. I'm not going to knock gold out of there, trust me. It's just the lighter rocks that are going to end up going. If I pop a nugget out of there, no. Yeah. Honestly, if there's a nugget, and I'll explain where the nugget is most probably going to get caught anyway. And that'd be up here. Because if there's a nugget of any sort of size, there's a big lip here, and under there is where any sort of gold is going to get caught, like just in here. I think I do see a little piece of gold there. I just knocked just about there. Alright, what I'm going to do, yeah, there's enough. There's not a lot of gravels there. What I'll do is I'm just going to lift this sluice. So when you're getting your sluice, just pick it up at the feed end and tilt it forward. Don't be worried about the gold flying out that end. That's not going to happen. Because as you're lifting, the water's reducing. Even though the angle's increasing, your water's reducing, and guess what? Once your water reduces, the gold just is going to sit there like it is, and you should be able to see that. Alright. So, we'll start up here. You'll see some lead shot. You'll see some gold. See some gold there as well. A few little bits there. I reckon that's a lot of that is gold. Probably the best bit that I've seen, the first bit that I've seen was just there. Zoom out a little bit so I can focus. So that's probably about the best looking bit of gold, unless there's some more trapped under there. I'm going to pull this mat out, and What I might do is I'll set this camera up in a sec and I'll so that you can see what I'm doing, cleaning this thing out and how it actually cleans out. I'll pick the whole thing up and take it over here where I'm going to set up anyway. And I'll set this camera up and then you can have a look and see the process of cleaning this little sluice out. So as I said, it's only 2 foot long, 9 inches wide, whatever that works out to be. So it's about 60 centimetres, I don't know, maybe 20, I think, maybe a little bit more than 20, 22 centimetres wide or something, I don't know. Something like that. Work it out. Work out what 9.5 inches is and work out what 2 foot is. It's about 60 mil. Alright, let me clean this thing out. Let me just show you that actually. Let me set the camera up, let me get my pan and we'll go from there. Alright, so first things first. On here there's a couple of wing nuts. I don't know what a wing nut is. One of these things. So a couple of those. Easily undo. I'll throw them in this bucket that I've got here. So you've got this riffle and just chuck that in. Just want to wash it down. Get those rocks. So that's washed down. That can go away. Now this mesh comes in 2 little bits. When you first get it, this little bit here is actually down the bottom. The reason I changed it was when it's held down with this, at the join is under this first riffle, and I just preferred it that way, so that's what I've done. Don't have to do that. Now, the moss. The moss you're just going to roll up, so you just gently lift it up of the whole of the little bolts that are sticking out that are joined into the bottom of the sluice. You roll it up, pick it up, throw it in there. You know, you can do it in a pan, you can do it in a bucket. So we'll just unroll it. We want to just gently wash that backwards and forwards. Same with this. Make sure we get that nice and clean. Throw that in there. Now this is the bit that you couldn't see, and this is the carpet. The carpet is, it's almost like some sort of felty sort of stuff that you might get from an automotive store or Bunnings or something like that. Doesn't have a backing or anything. It's just a little bit of fluffy sort of material. So we'll give that a good little wash as well on both sides. Now, this part. So the sluice itself, what I'm going to end up doing, I'm just going to move this a little bit just so you can see this bit. So let me just grab this. Let me get that there. Just let me tilt the camera a little bit like that just so you can see what's happening. But I'll get my pan. I'll throw that in here. It's not going to go anywhere. Throw that in the water. Sluice itself. You get it like this. I'll just splash the water down. Yeah, alternatively you could use a scoop and throw it in like this as well. Want to make sure. Now that little bit of VMAT is just glued down. Want to just check that. There might be something just there. It's difficult to say. Something looked like it was shining just in that edge. That looks all pretty good. What I will do, while I've got the well, I've got this all here, and you can probably get a better look. I'll put this back together. So, from that, on those two little guide holes, that goes in there. The mesh just goes in like this, or I should the mesh. The miner's moss goes in like that. Yeah. Just looking to see how this was sitting before, and that was the way it was in. It goes in like that. Now what you can do is you can have these going one way in the one bit and a different way in the other bit if you think that's going to make a difference. But the way this was like that. There. This part here, you've got to go under these little or the little bolts that hold the handle. Line up the two little bolts that are sticking out, and just screw these things back on. The reason I'm putting it back together is no more like I'll kick the bucket over, I'll knock it, I'll drop something, and everything's gone. So these little wing nuts, I've just done them up fairly tight. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, that was not very smart. Why wasn't it very smart? Because someone just put the riffles in reverse. Alright, what's going on there? So, don't put the riffles in reverse. Someone would have picked that up straight away, be watching this tape going, you idiot. Ah, well, these things happen. Yeah. There we go. Nicely done. Those, they can be sideways anyway. I just like having them in line. That's just me. Alright. So, we have, I'll just shake this a little bit just to get a bit of that silt out. But, there you go. Not a lot of gravels. Now, if you're running bucket after bucket, say we ran about 4 or 5 buckets, I would personally pan into another bucket, or pan into another pan. And I could probably get the bucket and pan into it, but I'm not too fast. I know there's only a little tiny bit of gold there. Now, so one thing I didn't cover with my panning in one of my panning videos, once you've stratified and shaken your pan side to side and agitated everything and got all the heavies down at the bottom, once you start panning, a lot of the larger rocks are going to be on top, and that finer material gets compact pretty quickly, and that's why when you just lift your pan up very carefully, it's that lighter material that skims off. what you got to watch is because your gold has hit the bottom of the pan, you can let the gold can skim out. So you've got to always be watching across the back of your pan and also what's coming down the face of it. Once you've done that a few times, you can bring all your material back to the flat and then start the process again. But what I would recommend is panning into another pan. If I had one with me, I'd definitely be doing it. But I think I've just seen my first little bit of gold. So what I'm going to actually do is chuck on my glasses. This is one of the rewards of old age. You start having to wear glasses when you didn't before. And then once again, start slowly panning, letting that lighter stuff just skim off. Now, just to prove my point, the gold, or a nice piece of gold, is right there. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that. Hopefully you can, but there's a nice little bit of gold there. So once again, bring it back to the flat, stratify, agitate those gravels, let those heavy materials get to the base of that pan, and then slowly once again let that material, the lighter stuff sitting on top, those big heavy rocks, the larger ones you can actually just pick up with your hands. Just make sure there's no certain places where you go to, and if the ground's known for the ironstone to be holding onto some gold, be very careful. So you don't want to get your best bit of gold and throw it out of your pan because you see a bit of ironstone. So I'm just going to back pan slowly. Easiest way when you don't have another pan is to back pan. Not seeing anything coming back with my back pan. I'll get to about here, which is most of the material. Just got some heavier rocks. I'm just going to slowly let this stuff come out. I'm going to watch what's coming, just in case I miss something. But I'm not seeing any colour there at all. A little bit of mica, I reckon that is, but nothing there at all. Once again, put that gold to the bottom, or back pan. Now I've got quite a lot of lead actually. Just gonna get rid of most of those bits of gravel, the larger stones. A few lead shots come through them as well. They just fell down. I'll show you those. I'll pick those out so you can just see how much lead has actually come out of here. Because that's crazy. That's a crazy amount of lead. I'll pick out all the bigger bits. Maybe some small bits there. That's a bit of lead as well. Alright. Just get them in my hand. This should be about the last time I should need the back pan. We'll have a look and see how much gold was captured. Another piece of lead. Right. Done. Alright. So, I'll throw the lead in the bottom of the pan, so I'll show you that. And I'll put the pan down and we'll have a look and see what we got. This way I can zoom in. Alright, there we go. So, Who's going to count them? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Get 17, 18 pieces of gold, I reckon. I don't know if that's 1 or 2 just there. Just a bit. I don't know if that's a bigger piece. Maybe, I don't know. No, it's just 1 bit. I thought there was 2 little bits, that one there. But about 17 bits of gold. And this end, got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of lead. So, will the Temu Sluice capture gold? Certainly will. Alright, I'm going to leave it there, and until the next time, catch you all later.